What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Tuesday evening. As you can kind of tell, my voice is a little hoarse right now. I don't know if I'm like sick or if it's allergies or what. I feel pretty much okay, but my voice is just like halfway gone. It was all the way gone yesterday, so I'm glad the show wasn't yesterday. But yeah, I might keep this show maybe sort of short. I know I say that sometimes, and then it ends up going an hour and a half anyway. But tonight we probably do need to keep it short because I'm supposed to sing tomorrow night. And that's not going to be good if my voice still sounds like this. So, all right. Yeah, welcome to the show. For those of you that maybe it's your first time here or you don't always get to catch the shows live. This is just a fun hangout session, question and answer. You guys take the show where you want it to go. So put the questions in the comments and I'll answer them. But yeah, we'll roll this intro and get a few more people to join, and I'll be back in a second. All right. What's up? We got Mandy's in the house. Eduardo Sanchez is here. Donnie Berryhill is here. God bless Texas. James is here. Good evening from New Jersey. Christy Wiley's here. Hi, all. Leafy Bean Yoga's here. Hi, all. James is cleaning his shoes tonight. Nice. Well, hope we can all together provide some entertainment for your shoe cleaning night. CK Hiker's here. Hey, everyone. How about that latest backyard ultra? What? 337 miles. Yeah, that was crazy. Like, I was kind of following that a little bit, not like super close. Yeah, over somewhere across the pond. I can't remember what country. Yeah, 337 miles. That is insane. Ultra Dad is here. Evening from Middletown, Ohio. What's up, man? Justin's here. Hello from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hot and stupid and humid. Yes, it's very, very hot and humid here as well. Josie's here. Hey, everyone. And James says, and Iron Cowboy James completing 100 Ironman triathlons in 100 days. That's pretty crazy, too. So actually, as a funny you brought that up. A couple years ago, he did, was it the 50-50-50? 50 Ironmans in 50 days in 50 states. And that was pretty epic. And I actually got to see him when he came to Indiana. He was in Muncie. So it was about like a 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive from my house. And I just like took like the afternoon off work and drove up there. And it was awesome. Like, was just kind of like following him the whole summer. And, yeah, when he got to Indiana, he did the swim. I think he did the swim in a pool, and then the bike ride was the actual like Ironman Muncie 70.3 course. And then the run was just like a modified. Well, he did the bike course twice, and then the run was just kind of like a modified marathon. Yeah, it was that was pretty crazy. Got to run with him for a couple miles. There was some controversy, and every time that comes up, it's like because one of the runs he had to use an elliptical And yeah, that was dumb decision, but it's pretty cool that he bounced back from that a couple years later and did 100 in 100 days. That's absolutely insane. Chris Parker's here. Hi from Massachusetts. Humid heat wave's been crazy this week. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So like my run today was just like, it was just absolutely just like super humid. And very hot. Sun was, but I love it though. Like it's not, like I would actually prefer to live in a place that had year-round summer rather than a place that has winters. So I'm not super lucky living in Indiana because it's, we have a lot of winter. But yeah, a couple things, like, house cleaning things, is that how you say it? Housekeeping things real quick. Oh my gosh. Let me put this graphic over my face. Here we go. If you haven't checked out the merch yet, go ahead and go to ryanclayton.shop. Check out, t-shirts, sweatshirts, stickers. Very excited to have, that available, and all of you guys that are like wearing it, sharing it on social media. It's super cool. Also, we have memberships of the channel. So I wanted to shout out a couple, just one new one this week. Deborah Mirzwa is the newest member of the channel. So thank you, Deborah, for joining. If you don't know what that is, it's just a way to financially support what I do here. So thank you guys who are doing that. That means the world to me, members of the channel, and those of you that have bought some merch. So yeah, just super, super cool that you guys would do anything like that. A couple more shout outs. Here we go. Oh, Brian, what's up, man? Brian Steinberg runs too much. Hey, how's it going? If you guys haven't seen his YouTube channel, click on his name. Saw Brian in person at the Kettle 100 a couple years ago. Sarah O's here. Good evening, everyone. Marky Mark is here. Evening, all. What's up? Let me know what questions you guys have tonight. Sarah says you should all come join us on Discord. Yep, that link in the description of this video, there should be a link to all links. It's my Linktree page, and you can go check out Discord. It's just like a fun. It's like if you don't know what Discord is, it's kind of like having a bunch of chat rooms or message boards. It's kind of like a mix. But there's like different sections where you can talk about different stuff. It's fun. John's here. What's up? Amen to that. Summer year round. Yeah. I just can't, I don't know how people that live, in places where there's long winters do it. Like I've seen pictures of some people are still. Sarah says San Francisco is basically 60 all year. The sun is not always out though. Interesting. Isaac says, tell us about the Saucony Endorphin Trail, please. Excited about the Solomon Ultra Glide. Actually, that's a good Saucony Endorphin Trail. I actually haven't looked into this very much, but I am planning on the endorphins. Like they were like the endorphin. What was it? The Endorphin Pro, or was it the Speed? The one with the carbon plate. That was like the running shoe of 2020. Like everybody raved about it. It was the Endorphin Pro. Let's check, show you guys what I'm looking at. So yeah, we had a question about the Endorphin Trail, and this okay. So the one thing that I'm like, Saucony, what is going on here is these colorways. Like I cannot stand this checkered stuff, the checkered design. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but, I can't I cannot bring myself to purchase a pair of those at this point. I have so many other shoes that I need to check out. Speaking of shoes though, I wanted to show you guys. So last week I showed you guys in a vlog that I had the Nike Pegasus Trail 2s. Well, someone informed me that those were now the old version. And the day, it was either the day I posted that video or the day after, Nike released the version 3. So that's these. So I did pick them up. And now that I have both of them, I might as well do like a comparison video between the two of them. So yeah, these are the Nike Pegasus Trail 2 and 3. I have both of them now, which is like, at first I was like really frustrated that like almost the day I got the version 2s, the number 3s came out. And I just wasn't aware that that was happening. But then I was like, actually, maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe I'll just try both of them out. So I have both of them. Isaac says, I know the colorway is so bad. Yeah, that checker. I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe there's some people that like them, but to me, it's just like way too much pattern going on. And the black and white is just like, it's just really weird. Leafy Bean Yoga says, it's not just you. LOL. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. It's definitely, but I definitely will run in them this year. Hopefully they just come out with different color designs. I'm drinking some green tea here, trying to soothe the vocal cords a little bit. Let's see. Justin says, for beginners, what is the easiest video editing software to put on YouTube? So I think like probably the easiest would probably be, my guess would be like Final Cut Pro, or iMovie. That's free, comes on every Mac. So you could start with that. There are some limitations there, but it's not that big of a deal if you're just starting out. Definitely helps you learn how to edit video. And then the big brother of that is the Final Cut Pro, and that's Apple's software, and it works like really well. I didn't particularly like it because I came from a heavy like background in like Pro Tools and Cubase and Ableton and stuff like that, like music mixing software. And so coming over to Final Cut Pro, it just didn't, like, everything just was in like weird places, and it wasn't a seamless like learning experience. So I gravitated more towards Premiere Pro. But I would, like, honestly, like Adobe products, I recommend people like don't even really get into them now, because the subscriptions are so expensive at this point. And a lot of people, I think the reason why most people use those is because it's really easy to integrate. Like everybody has them because they've been around forever. And so everyone knows how to use like all the Adobe products like Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere Pro, After Effects. But when you start like now with this subscription pricing, it's just like, it's out of this world. Like, it's crazy. It's so expensive. So if you're not like collaborating with a bunch of people and you can pick whatever software you want, I would start off with like free version of iMovie and just make a couple videos, see if you even like doing it, and then download the free version of DaVinci Resolve. And that's like DaVinci is really like a beast right now. Like, it's such a good editing software. And the free version does almost everything you need. And then there's a version that you can pay for, and it's great because it's a one-time fee, $300. So that's the one I use, and I love it now. It's also the best color grading software you can get out there. Let's see here. John says, you need to run a lot more. You have so many shoes to review. I know. I'm trying to get like, okay, so this was like the unfortunate thing that happened is it took me about 2 weeks to recover from Cruel Jewel. And then right after that 2 weeks, like, I came down with this kind of like allergy issue where like my voice got really hoarse. Like, Like it's not like a chest cold or anything, but it's just like, I don't know. So this week has just been kind of weird. I've been trying to be careful just to make sure like I'm not sick. Is this just allergies? I don't know. But yeah, there's this weird thing going on now where it's like I'm kind of in that like honeymoon stage of running where I had like this really, like pretty focused couple months, but really a couple years training for this race. And now it's over. And now I'm like past it. And there's not that thing to latch onto every day anymore. So I'm just kind of like in this weird place that, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's nice because it's, I don't have like the pressure and the stress and, like the negative stuff that comes with training for a race. But at the same time, I don't have, it's like just a little bit less motivation to get out the door. So on a week like this where I'm like, I'm feeling a little under the weather, I'm like, I'll just rest. That's fine. So that's kind of where we are right now. But this, like, I'm like ready to go like in the next couple days. Like I can't wait to start getting out in this sun and this heat and training, and then in a couple weeks be out at Western States, which will be awesome. I just read your comment, Leafy Bean Yoga. Yeah, no, I didn't go to an extreme rock concert. James says Western States is going to have full start to finish live stream coverage this year. Thoughts? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we'll see how they pull that off. I hadn't heard anything about that. They have, don't expect a whole lot. I mean, if they have like live commentators that are in like maybe like a studio environment or something, kind of like they did for Cocodona, then it could be good. But there's not going to be a whole lot of coverage out there, live coverage. I think a lot of the course has no cell service. There was most of the 8 stations, well, except for Michigan Bluff, a lot of the 8 stations we went to, there was no cell service. So I don't know. We'll see. That's news to me that they're doing a live stream, but that's going to be cool. Dan D says Kettle Moraine is doing a live stream this year. And that one, I did see that news and I was kind of like, okay, all right. Didn't see that one coming. Like that's not a huge race. But I get it if, like you said, they're limiting crew and spectators. Like that could, I don't know. Kettle's just not a big race. But I do know that the race directors also do like a podcast and they have a YouTube channel. So they're inclined to kind of gravitate towards some of this like coverage aspect. So I can see why it's happening. MCM said, "Hey Ryan, do you watch Kofuzi?" Of course. Yes, I do. What'd you think of his first ultra trail race upload? That was awesome. Like I watched start to finish, no pauses. Like it was just great. Like I loved it. I've been watching him for a long time and, like we kind of go back and forth a little bit. Like, I've been like really excited to see him get into, the ultra world because, I just think he has, I think he's going to do really, really well. And I mean, he's like his motivation, his, like determination. I mean, he's run a bunch of marathons, so I think he's going to do really well in trail races and, I'm excited. Hopefully I get to run with him someday. Yeah, I love that video. It was great. It was great to see him. It was great to see him get in there. And it was kind of fun. Like, I would say this to his face too. It was kind of fun to see him get his butt kicked a little bit by the ultra. Like he went out too hard and he paid for it. And I've done that a million times. But that was kind of fun. Like that was fun to see. So I'm super excited that he's getting into it. I mean, he's an incredible runner, great YouTuber. So it's fun. Let's see. Ultra Dad says, sounds like you need to come out to Mohican and sign up for Grindstone again. I'm so close to signing up for Grindstone. Yeah, do it, man. My friend Russell House is going to be at Grindstone. I would love to do Mohican, but I think something about the date. I think I have a conflict with that. I can't remember though. Or is it the same weekend as Western States? I can't remember. Someone can look it up. It's like a weekend right before or right after or something. Maybe. Anyway, yeah, I do have, and also in the fall, I'm doing the Indiana Trail 100. So that's my fall 100 miler. Because I know a lot of people can, do multiple hundreds a year, and some people only do one. But I think right now I'm in that place where I could probably pull off 2, maybe 3. A couple more years, I might be able to do more. But yeah, I'm really excited about how this year has gone so far and is shaping up to be. I just had a really good training into Cruel Jewel. Just did a lot of things that I was really proud of during that training block. And then went down to Georgia, accomplished the goal, and I've had a good couple weeks off. Like, it's been really nice. I've been really good to myself, and I think that's really important. I'm going to talk about that in a future upcoming video. But just making sure that you kind of like get rid of some of those like negative thoughts, and just for a while after a big race, just do what you want and enjoy the time. And so that's been really good for me as well. Danielle says, that Kofuzi video was legit. Spent the entire time wondering how he does it. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that. I love that 360 camera that he has. It's really, really cool. I would love to get a 360 camera, but I don't know, maybe I should invest in one, but they're like $400, and I already have a GoPro that does 95% of what I would want anyway. But it would be cool to have a 360 camera. Oh, Francis says they're going to have 2 this is talking about Western States. They're going to have 2 commentators and point-to-point coverage and interviews. At least that's what the IG post said. Interesting. I know there's a couple stretches, or maybe it's just one really long stretch that is protected land. So that'll be kind of like a, what do you call it? Like no filming area. Yeah, that'll be really cool. I won't be able to watch it. But for everyone that's tuning in, I hope it's awesome. Russell says, hey Ryan, my trail shoes are getting pretty beat. Any suggestions on trail shoe brand? That's not a huge transition from ultras. Not giving up on ultra, just want to check out other brands. Yeah. So as you guys know, or some of you might know, I ran in ultras for 5 years exclusively, nothing else. And just this year in January, I switched to running in anything. And I thought the transition was going to be really, really hard. And it honestly hasn't been that bad. Especially with trail shoes. I've just found that if you can find the right trail shoe that's comfortable, like it's got a comfortable upper and it has the right, like a midsole that you're comfortable with, like as far as like stack height. Some people like really minimal, some people like maximum. But if you can find something that you like, the difference between a zero drop shoe and even a Nike that is a little bit higher, like 7 or 8. I think the Wild Horse is 8 maybe. But it's really like on the trail, you don't notice it near as much as you do on roads, except for descending downhills. Then you notice it a lot. And it's like really, really obvious. The first time you go from an Ultra to something else, like say a Nike or even like Hoka. The first time I wore Hokas, and that was only like a 5mm drop, or maybe even 4, the Torrents. And the first time I did that, I felt like I was like falling downhill, and because it was just like so apparent, the drop. But just on like regular trails, didn't notice much of anything. And I think there's a lot of really good options out there. Like now that I've been able to try all sorts of different stuff, all sorts of different brands, I kind of feel a little sad for people that are like sponsored or can only wear one brand, because there's so many good ones out there. So yeah, I will probably never, hold me to this, but I'll never take on a shoe sponsor unless someone wants to pay me a lot of money. But yeah, I have too much fun running in all different kinds of shoes. But to answer your question, Russell, a good trail shoe, I know you really like the Superiors. So once it like, I mean, I really liked the Hoka Torrents a lot. They are pretty narrow, but that was a really easy transition. I do like the Speed Goats. I think you would probably really like the Evo Speed Goats. And those are really good for, from what I hear, I've never taken them past. I mean, I've never ran, I think, more than 15 miles in a pair of Speed Goats. But they're very popular ultra shoes. But then the Nike Wild Horse that I just did Cruel Jewel in, those are awesome. I loved them. So I think you have a lot of really good options. Buy them from a place where you can return them if you don't like them. So, but yeah, Nikes are a little bit wider, at least for my feet. They felt more natural compared to Ultras than Hoka did. Hokas are just really narrow. A lot of people are fit perfectly fine in them. If you get the regular Hokas, they do have wide versions in some sizes. But yeah, Hoka, I mean, aside from it being a little bit more narrow, they're a pretty easy switch from Ultra. Nice. James says Dylan Bowman and Corinne Malcolm are going to be hosting the Western live stream. That'll be awesome. That'll be good. Eva says, congrats again on your awesome Cruel Jewel finish. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ultra Dad says, Western States is the weekend after Mohican. Yeah, that's right. That's why I can't go. Because I fly out Tuesday of that week. So, yeah, actually 2 weeks from today, I'm flying out to California, which I'm really excited about and a little nervous. MCM says, have you run or plan on running in the Saucony Peregrine series? Maybe. I haven't really looked into them very much. So maybe. Danielle says, do you find that it's common to fall into depression or sadness after achieving a long-term goal? Yes, totally. And that's like, a lot of people don't like talking about that. But it's definitely like, because when you finish something, even if you succeed, like say for a race, for example, I think that's what you're asking about. You accomplish it, you finish it, your goal is met, but once it's over, that goal is not there anymore. So you're experiencing loss. And that is really hard. And it's really confusing if you aren't able to identify that. And so I remember years ago, I wasn't like, I didn't know why I was feeling so bad. Like when I started getting into, sports, but like, like when you're in high school and stuff and your season is over, like, I mean, you learn that lesson pretty quick, but at the beginning you're kind of like, what is this going on? Like, and when you're an adult and you're running these like races, like you sign up for a marathon or 100-miler or something, and once it's over, it's just like, if you don't identify it right away, it can be confusing for a while. So I do think that, at least for myself, I'll speak for myself, I do have that. But the way I've been able to kind of go about it in what I believe is a healthy way is to just allow myself to do whatever I want, to a certain extent, obviously. But like, what I mean is like, if I want to watch a movie 3 nights in a row, just watch a movie 3 nights in a row. If I want to sit down and play guitar for like 3 hours on a Saturday instead of going for a run, do that. If I want to, whatever, like, as long as it's like, something that's not, as long as it's something that's, like decent, I just let myself do whatever I want. And I don't, this last year or two, like, it's been really good because I haven't let myself feel kind of those, like, guilty feelings about, oh my gosh, I'm not training. Because like, like, you need to rest for a few days at least, depending on how long the race is. And if it's a 100-miler, a week or two, you have to rest. Or else you're going to have problems when you start running again. And a couple months later, you're going to notice that you're still super run down because you never rested after that race. A lot of pros have this problem. And it's chronic, what's it called? Dang it, I can't remember what it's called. But a lot of pros have this problem where they don't take enough time off in between big races. They have these huge training blocks, and there's this huge race, and they don't rest. And then they get right back to it. And it's just like they develop this kind of like chronic fatigue from it. Overtraining is kind of one way to say it, but there's actually a like a medical term for it. I can't remember. So you don't want to like take it to the extreme and take like 6 months off. But for a couple weeks at least, just have some downtime. Don't feel guilty about not training. Do whatever you want to do. And then that's kind of helped me like get through these last couple races. The like sort of like depression feeling afterwards, because you're feeling that sense of loss of a goal. Even if you accomplished it, the goal is still gone, and that sucks. Some people find that they can fix it really easily by signing up for another race. I don't know. Like, is that healthy or not? Probably not. You're probably just avoiding the problem or avoiding the truth. But yeah. Good question, Daniel. Justin says, did we give up on the buckle cam? Yeah, I haven't set it up in a couple weeks because I actually have the camera above me. Hi. And I have to like take it down and like put it over here on a tripod. But yeah. So if I should have done this overhead camera when I pulled the shoes out. Darn. Marky Mark says, love Hokas, but they get tight on me after 40 miles. Oh, interesting. They get tight after 40 miles. Yeah. I noticed on the Speed Goats, the regular version of the Speed Goats, I had some like pinching on the side from where it's kind of like this like plasticky rubber coating folds in, but the Evo Speed Goats didn't have that problem. Snowman says, our running group always called it the Marathon Blues. Yeah, that's for sure. I think if you can identify it and you can point it out, and you can know that it's there, you can deal with it and move past it. but it's hard. It's definitely hard going through that season right after a race. So, yeah. But all right, what else we got here? If any of you have any questions about any other stuff like recovery or Western States or anything like that, fire away. But like I said, this will be kind of short because as you can tell, my voice, I'm almost out of tea and my voice is like shot. So it's got to be back to normal in 24 hours or else I'm going to have a really bad band rehearsal. But yeah, like if any of you have been following my Strava, you've seen that just been taking a lot of rest days recently over the past couple weeks, but I feel like I'm pretty much back to normal. Like feet are not hurting anymore. My endurance is like definitely a little bit less, obviously, but in this situation, I read a good article by David Roach a couple months ago, and he talks about this specific thing of detraining and then retraining. And like you detrain really fast, but you also can get pretty much right back to where you were pretty quickly within a certain time period. And that's different for everybody. But like I said before, if you wait 6 months before you start training again, you'll probably have to kind of start back from a pretty low point and build back up. But if you spend a couple weeks, let your body fully recover, and then a couple weeks later, you start building back up, like you can build that fitness right back up real fast. So I'm really excited for that. Really excited for the next couple weeks, the next really like 3 weeks until Western States. And again, I don't know how much I'm going to be pacing because there's a couple of us going. And so there's only like, you can start pacing at Michigan Bluff, which is at 56, but I don't think that'll happen because if your runner comes through before 9 p.m., they can't pick up a pacer at that point. So I think the next stop is like 38 or something, or 36 miles to go maybe. And if there's a couple of us pacing, I might only do like 15 miles or 10 miles. So it's not going to be like an ultra or anything, but it's going to be really fun. And crewing up all night, like that's going to be fun. But just being out in California, being in those mountains again, being at that race, just bumping into people. That was where I made the connection with Rob to film the whole Triple Crown series. So stuff happens at these races. But yeah, I'm excited to, I don't know if, I think Seth James Demore is going to go back. Maybe. I don't know. I can't watch his vlogs every day. I catch a few minutes here and there. Every once in a while, I'll hop on his live streams. So I don't know if he's going back or not, but that'd be fun to bump into him. But I know there's going to be a lot of people there. I know a lot of people will be there. Oh, let's see. What else we got here? I'm planning to go all out for my first time in a 50K this weekend. Any suggestions from when you did that at OPSF? All right. So going all out in a 50K is hard to do because you're not really like, it's different than even going all out in a marathon. Like it's still a little bit slower than that. It's a little bit held back. But I would say that like if you're trained properly for it, and you've put in a pretty good training block of, 12 to 16 weeks or something, and you're in a good place, you can go at a decently high level, like heart rate, like kind of in that zone 3, for the first 20 miles or so. And then at about 20 miles, oh, what's up? Motivation Theory Running. Good evening. Super chat. Thank you so much, man. That's awesome. But yeah, like the first 20 miles or so, like you can go at a pretty decent like race effort heart rate, and then make your decision at that point. And if you're totally gassed, then, just finish the race. But if you are, feeling like you have a little bit more in the tank, like you just like slowly keep, increasing the effort just a little bit. And you're going to have like really, really low moments. Like I had, I think at OPSF, I actually sat down in the middle of the trail once, because it was just like, for whatever reason, I ran out of gas for like a couple minutes and was just like, oh my gosh, like I have to sit, like my legs aren't moving forward. So I sat down for like 20 seconds, and then got super self-conscious that someone was going to see me sitting. And so I jumped back up and started running again. But yeah, I mean, it happens. Like you're going to have low moments. I remember walking up to an aid station and I pulled out both of my bottles, and as soon as I stopped walking, my legs were just like, oh, we got to go down. And I like just crouched down. I didn't actually sit, but was just like crouching down next to the table. And I was like, here, take my bottles. They filled them up. But yeah, it's tough. And then it'll take a while to recover from that if you do go all out. So good luck. I'll be interested to see how that goes on the next live stream. Let us know. Ultra Dad says, are you focused more on filming, John, or pacing or crewing, or both? Focused mostly on crewing, and then pacing, and then filming, because the reason I'm there is to make sure John succeeds in finishing, number one, but then hitting his goals. That's the reason why I'm there. And then whatever else happens. So I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to get, quite a bit of footage and put together a fun video or two. And really excited about that because there's going to be a lot of downtime too. I mean, when you go to these races, like there's a lot of downtime when you're not running. So that'll be fun. It's going to be a blast though. Good question. From Snowman. It says, quite a few of us are in taper for Mohican. How do you handle the taper? What do you do personally? So handling a taper for an ultra is a little bit different than even a marathon or a 10K or 5K, in where you really just, the whole point of a taper is to show up to the start line in the best version of yourself possible. So you've done all your hard training, and usually about 2 weeks out or so, you'll start your taper. So that would be like right now. And you just kind of, for that first week, this is what I usually recommend to my athletes, is just kind of like slowly back off the volume so that you can increase your recovery time in between each run. And then that last week or so, just have maybe a few more sparse runs, and just keep them all really short, because like there is, like, you can go read a book like the Jack Daniels running method, for example, and his taper for a marathon or a half marathon will have a whole lot of intensity built in, and so that is like a good thing to do for half marathon, but I don't typically do too much of that for 100 milers or any type of ultra. Like my main goal, because the turnover, like you don't need to like regain that foot speed so much. Now, if you're Jim Walmsley, it's going to look different. If you're Camille Herron, it's going to look different. But I don't think any of them are watching. So, and I'm not in a place to give them advice. But for most of us, we don't need to kind of like re-engage that foot speed, and we don't need to like have those really intense efforts in our taper. So typically it's just reducing the volume to increase the recovery, staying healthy, making sure you're getting sleep, and then getting your gear in order. So it's a lot more simple for ultras. But, honestly, the hardest part is the mental side of it. And just feeling like you are being lazy and, I guess like the mental toughness to stay away from, foods that are going to maybe like mess up your gut for a day or two or something. Like if you, just anything like that. Like you just try to eat clean, try to get your sleep. Don't get down on yourself. Like you are at the highest, like you are the most trained, at the end of your training block. Once you start your taper, you are detraining a little bit, and that is okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to have a better race if you show up well rested and 2% less trained than you were 2 weeks ago, or 1%, rather than going straight into your race. Because we all know what it feels like to have a really bad Saturday run, because you ran 40 or 50 miles into through the week, and you're getting to that Saturday and it's a 20 or 25 miler, and you just have a horrible run and you just gut through it. You don't want that to be your race. You want to have a good run at your race, and so you want to be well rested. So that's the biggest, most important thing. Oh, cool. James says that Seth is going to film Western States or vlog from it. So that'll be cool. Maybe I'll bump into him. Once again, thank you, Motivation Theory Running, for the super chat. Good evening, everyone. Oh, let's see here. What else? Maybe a couple more questions. We might even hit an hour. Who knows? Joel has a question here. Speaking of ultra pacing and having to sit down, on my first Bigfoot 40 event, my calves were cramping so bad I had to sit down for a little bit. Met a friend in the process, and we're still friends 4 years later. Nice. That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, that's a crazy course. If you're talking about the same course that the Bigfoot 200 is on, that's wild out there. Big climbs, big descents. Yeah, it's a tough course. But yeah. And sitting down, some people really hate the idea of sitting down in ultras. I don't mind it. It helps me recover. Just don't sit very long. Oh, here we go. Justin says, have you noticed Jim's Strava feed is off? Can't wait to see how he shows up for Western. That's awesome. A lot of people do that. But the funny thing is, if that's true, oh my gosh, because I just listened to a podcast maybe 2 months ago with him, where he was saying that people are so silly that do that. That's awesome. Oh man, I gotta check that out. Maybe some people convinced him to turn it off. I don't know, because he seemed pretty adamant that he was like, I leave it on all the time. I leave it on. Who knows? But yeah, I can't wait to see what happens this year. Since we didn't have Western States last year, this year's race is going to be special because people are going to be so amped up for it. And yeah, I just think that, I think with him coming back, I think there's a lot of, I think there's just a lot of competition. I'm also really, really excited to see what Camille does. I think that she had a really tough, a little bit of bad luck 2 years ago, with her hip cramped up really bad, and then just never loosened up. So I'm really excited to see what she can do if she doesn't have any sort of ailments like that. So I think, she's obviously the best in the world at certain types of ultras, like the, more flatter ones and tracks, 24-hour events. She's got world records. The mountain races have been a little bit more of they have posed some more problems for her. So I'm really excited to see her. She looks like she is in like top form right now. And I know they moved out to Colorado, or now they're in I don't know where they are. They've moved a couple times, but, it's really pumped to see how she does. All right. Matt Simpson says, "Hey Ryan, going to run 26 at Chain of Lakes on Monday." Ooh, nice. I'm thinking it's going to be wet with all this rain. Any tips? Cool, man. So those of you that don't know, Chain of Lakes is the park that the Indiana Trail 100 is at. So it's here in Indiana. Going to be wet with all this rain. Any tips? Honestly, like, like get some shoes that you're comfortable with, socks that you're comfortable with, and then just like, if it's wet, it's wet. It's only going to be a couple hours, and then you can go warm up. But it probably won't be cold. So I don't know. Who knows? But that'll be fun. Definitely, take some nutrition, hydration. I don't know if you're going to be able to check out the new section. I don't know if it's open yet. That'd be cool. Oh, Justin says his Strava's been off for 4 weeks. Interesting. And Shane says, I think Jared will take it this year. That's interesting. That's going to be incredible seeing those two guys like fighting it out, because they're friends, Marky Mark says Camille just moved down to Arizona. Yeah, that's right. I think she was in Colorado for a little bit, or maybe that's where she was prior. It was Oklahoma, then Colorado, then Arizona. I don't know. Something like that. Snowman says, did you follow the record-breaking Backyard Ultra? Yes, a little bit. Kind of talked about that just a tiny bit at the beginning of the episode. But what was it, 337 miles or something that those guys ran? My gosh. 2 of them. 2 people. Can't imagine that. That's crazy. Joel says, do you know any ultra runners that use chrome umbrellas to reflect the sun and stay cool in exposed courses? No, I do not. I don't know if that would... I guess that could be an approved gear item, is an umbrella. I've never seen someone use an umbrella during a race, but I guess it could be done. All right, everybody. I think that's it. If you have a last minute question or something, get it in, and then we're gonna wrap this up. As you can tell, my voice is tired, but that's okay. I actually can't believe I made it this long. Last night, I wouldn't have been able to talk for 5 minutes. That's how bad it was yesterday. Leafy Bean Yoga says, thanks for another wonderful live stream chat, Ryan. See you all next week. Thank you so much. This has been so fun, like over the last year and a half, just showing up every Tuesday and hanging out with you guys. It's just been really fun and a really cool thing to look forward to every week. So thank you guys for joining and making it what it is. Because without you guys, I would just be sitting here not talking about anything. Motivational Theory Running says, I want to go out to film Western States so bad. It's my bucket list race and would just love to be there. Need an extra camera guy. Have experience. Nice. Yeah. It's like, from my experience, it's a really hard race to film. Because the way the aid stations are set up, you cannot go to all of them. You have to have multiple people. You have to have 2 crews. if you want to film all the 8 stations. And then like on the trail, like filming ultras is really hard, but yeah, it's a fun place to be for sure. 3rd weekend in June. Is that right? 3rd or 4th, every year. So I can't wait. I'm super excited. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you to all. There was a lot of people tonight, over 60 for most of the time. So that was fun. Yeah. Thanks for joining. This was fun. I will see you guys again soon. Bye.